Hello everybody and welcome on today's video. Today we are going to do some maintenance and on this beech tree and preparing it for the growing season, and especially have a look at the grafts we made. So I'll bring the camera in to show you what we did last year. So first of all, as you see, the moss on this tree grew very well, so it needs to get thinned out. I probably just get rid of it all, and especially the parts that are climbing up the tree, because these parts should stay a little drier. It's just removing the top layer and then clean it with a toothbrush and add a little new soil on it, and then maybe place some pieces of moss just to make it nice and sweet to look at. See, the moss is climbing quite high here. Here you can see that a big wound is closing very nicely, and we are here to see the first grafts, and I'm not sure if this graft has taken already, but oh no, you can't see it. This is the graft I'm talking about. So what I need to do now is just bring the camera a little closer and then cut away the raffia to see if this all stays where it's supposed to stay, and if it's not, well, we'll wrap it in again. So this is no magic. I'm going to remove this raffia. So I'm just brushing away the natural raffia now. If you make it wet, it will come off quite easily. Now I'm not sure that this graft has taken. I'm not sure at all, but looks quite promising. And now just with a wooden stick, you see the raffia is coming loose. I'm still doing this with a lot of care. Because it would be a shame to flip out the graft if it did not fuse completely. Okay, I see if I can zoom in a little bit more. So I think that's not bad. The graft is flush. That's already a good thing, because we made a fairly deep incision. It's completely closed, but it's not sure that it fused 100%, so just for the sake of safety, I'm going to put another raffia around it, but this time I'm just going to use plastic raffia, synthetic. But this looks good. So I have a branch here, I have a branch here. We'll see if they grow nicely. They will help to thicken the trunk, and they will give me some back branching, so that's always interesting. The graft is tightened now, well packed, so that if this branch starts to grow, it's going to grow flush. Otherwise it might become just a thick bulge here, and we don't want that. So up to the next part. Oh yeah, as you see, probably I'm making a complete mess of the surface here with all this raffia. That's why I'm going to clean the surface afterwards and not first. The second graft is probably the most interesting one. It starts from this branch, and then this branch comes up to this place where we have a big wound from a cutting where the top was removed, and this branch splits into this one that is led here, and this one that is supposed to become the new top. Oh, can't see it. So this one led here in the front, and this is supposed to become the new top. So yeah, remove all the old things. One thing I already see is that the plastic ring I put here is becoming surrounded by this branch, and I already see some fusion at this point. So it looks that it's working quite nice. So I have to remove the raffia to see what's really going on. So in this portion there is absolutely no fusion at all at the moment. I just can get the branch in and out of the cavity. Here, well, it's becoming tight, very tight, and I can see that some of this wood is starting to come over the other, so that's good, but it's still loose. And I think I'm done removing this. This is very interesting, very interesting. Going to remove this. Oh yes, what we see here is a complete fusion, so this means that this branch is not needed anymore. Just going to clean this up because there's a piece of natural raffia under it. So not all of these grafts are alright for the full 100% now. It does not really matter, we have time. And as long as you see that the things are getting better, well, it means that you're doing right. So I just have to make sure that this stays nicely here in position. I will have to get this a little down to be sure that this stays in position. So these are the first moves I have to make. Just putting some tension there. So this should stay here, okay. It will. And then I'll just make a loop like so. And I think I'm still going to tighten this into the graft because I want it to fix real nice and grow for another season and incorporate itself in the trunk, so that when it grows, it can only grow flush. And I'm gonna wrap this too. Nicely in the hole that I made, and try to get it completely packed. Maybe use more than one piece of raffia and start from different angles, but it should be done. It's a little more work, maybe half an hour to do it properly, but if this graft is where it should be and as flush as it should be, this is going to make a big difference in the coming years. So what is a little work? So I wrapped it the best I could. Sadly, this piece inside here I cannot wrap because there's no way to form an angle, but well, it can still grow, and we will see what it says in a year. Maybe then I can just put the raffia from another direction if I don't need this anymore. So yeah, other things about beeches. Beeches, they are still sleeping now because they will only bud in a week or 3 or 4. And as you see, I have 3 buds here, which is 1 too much, I think. But I'm not going to touch them. I first want to see if they grow all and then remove 1. Because you only want 2 buds, because the tree should fork and then split in 2, and then 2 gets 4 and 4 get 8 and so on. Something you can do now is just cut away some stumps that are left over from last year, and get it as clean as possible. You can do that with nice and sharp scissors, like so. And I'm going to get over all these stumps and see if I have to remove something, and that's basically it. So like I said, this lava is really great material, because the moss just grows into the lava. You can just get it out like a carpet. And in a few seconds all the moss is removed. The moss is removed, and I've been digging a little around the roots to see if there's anything I can do, because I'm not planning to repot this tree. Could it use a repot? I don't know. I don't think, because you see, if I wiggle the tree, not all of the soil is moving. That means that it's not pot bound, and it's best to keep it in a pot for another year. Some things that I see, this should be removed. This is a guy wire, and it's pulling on this root, and I don't want it to stay 2 years on the same spot, because it's going to mark this root. Here I can see that I have 1 root growing on top of the other, like so. So this is one I can get rid of. I'm just going to cut it so that I won't see it. So this is better. Just clean this up a little. This is the place where we removed the big wound last year. Here I can see that there is a small root growing on this big one, so I get rid of that. Just cut it flush. And this way I'm not really working on the roots on a structural way from under the ground, but already doing an interesting selection of what I want to keep and what I want to remove, and little ones can grow freely for another year and just thicken. So I'm going to scrape a centimeter of this topsoil and then replace it with some fresh soil. Now before I put the new soil in, I'm going to position a few pieces of moss. Different kinds of moss that I can take from the moss that I had, and arrange it randomly. This is another type of moss, it comes from another tree. It's always nice to mix this. So not too much, just a little to give it some color and to give it some movement. Maybe just a little piece here in the back, in the corner. And want to finish it off like so and like so. Okay. So now I gotta fill the gaps with some new soil. And then gently work it in between the roots and the moss and give it a good water. Might take some time. There's still some lava remaining on the moss. It doesn't really matter, of course, but if you really want, you can get every piece of with tweezers, and well, if you care for that, you should do that. I'm quite happy because well, the graft seems to do very fine, and that means that this big wound in the back will close. The other wounds are closing slowly. The beeches are quite slow growers. There's still a long way to go with this tree. The roots are not perfect. We have the start of a nice root flare, and it's still very two-dimensional. So yes, this will have to grow more in the back, and that's why I need a back branch here, that's why I need a back branch here. This should come a little more this way, and then this, if this graft is released, should be brought to this point, and so on and so on. So the tree is never finished. This big branch, well, it's the trunk technically, should get thinner. You cannot get a branch thinner. It means that this one should become thicker, and I will have to keep this one calm down and prevent it from growing too much. But that's all we can do for the moment. So this tree is ready to start its growing season. So thank you for watching, and see you next time.